Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series, my 2020 college football predictions. This was a complicated prediction list like no other. No Big Ten, no Pac-12, no MAC, no MWC, although there are rumors that the Big Ten could be back for the fall. If so, we'll do a podcast for the Big Ten on a separate day if it indeed comes back. I'm going to go through the conferences that are playing this year, my predicted orders of finish, predict who will be in the college football playoff, and who will win the national title. All right, the AAC. I have winning the AAC with a 9-1 record and a 7-1 record in conference play. The UCF Knights. UCF, I think, is in for a good season. They are a team that has a lot of pieces back. They have Otis Anderson, Trey Nixon back. They got some good defensive players back. Richie Grant, Aaron Robinson, Brandon Moore on defense. They did lose a couple big names like Whiteout, Gabriel Davis, and they lost the tackle Jake Brown, and they lost a couple starters on defense too. But I think that this team should be fine. And Dylan Gabriel, I think, is in for a good season as well at the quarterback position. So my pick to win the AAC regular season, the UCF Knights. Second place, I have the Cincinnati Bearcats at 8-2, but 6-2 in conference play. I think Cincinnati has a chance to win the conference. I think that they are in for a good season. They have a couple starters in their secondary returning and on the defensive line. They have some of their starters on offense that they lose, though. I like their coach, Luke Fickell. Desmond Ridder was somebody that was banged up at the end of last year, their quarterback, but showed some flashes. So I think Cincinnati is in for a good year. In third place, I have Navy. I have them finishing 8-3 on the year, 6-2 in conference play. The midshipmen had a bounce back year last year after having a disappointing season 2 years ago. Malcolm Perry's gone, which is a tough ask, obviously. They have a lot of guys that they need to step up. Perry Olsen, I think, is going to be their starting quarterback. Maybe it's Dalen Morris or Chance Warren, but they have some options at the quarterback position. Their coach, Ken Niumatalolo, is one of the best in the business. They have a starting tackle returning and a starting linebacker returning, but maybe I'm higher on Navy than most because they have good coaching and all that, and Navy's normally a good team rather than a bad team. Maybe they do have a disappointing year and I'm wrong, but we'll see. In fourth place, I have the Memphis Tigers at 7-3. I have them going 5-3 in conference play. They have a new coach, Ryan Silverfield. They lose a lot of pieces, but they do have pieces on offense returning: Brady White, Kenneth Gainwell, and DeMonte Coxey. They have some new assistant coaches that I like as well. Antonio Gibson's probably their biggest loss on offense. They have some starters on defense coming back as well, so I think Memphis is in for a good year. In fifth place, I have the Tulane Green Wave. I have them going 5-6, 4-4. In conference play, they have some good players coming back. There's some guys that I don't really love that they lost, meaning like they're going to miss those guys. Favorable schedule. Sixth place, I have the SMU Mustangs going 7-5, 4-4 in conference play. They had a great year last year, I think they take a step back this year. Shane Buechele had a good year last year, the former Texas quarterback. Their running backs are gone. That's a problem. They have a good defensive core coming back, so that's good. Their home schedule is favorable, so maybe they are a little better than I think. 7th place, I have the Houston Cougars at 5-6, and 3-5 in conference play. Dana Holgorsen year 1 was a disappointment. Maybe this is a bounce back year for them. I think they'll be better, but not where that program would like to be. Clayton Tune was their quarterback. He showed promise last year. 7 starters back, including the quarterback. We'll see if they bounce back or not. Temple, I have going 3-5 on the season. All their conference games got canceled due to COVID-19. Temple is a team that I think could be better than this. But their issue is that they only have 4 starters coming back. Their quarterback's back. Anthony Russo. Jaden Blue is back too. So I think they're going to be a good offensive team, but I don't like their defense whatsoever. 9th place, I have the Tulsa Hurricane. 3-7. 3-5 in conference play. They're better than their 4-8 from last year. Zach Smith's back. Philip Montgomery's a good coach. They lose a lot of pieces on defense, which is not great. 10th place, I have the South Florida Bulls going 3-8. They have a new coach. Jeff Scott, who was the offensive coordinator at Clemson. They have quarterback questions. They have some guys that I like in their offense. They lose their tight end Mitchell Cox. 6 starters back on defense. Maybe that unit will be a little better than expected. So, and now in the basement, I have the East Carolina Pirates. I do think this is a team that's going to be good in the future. They're heading in the right direction long term with Mike Houston, but I don't like their schedule at all this year. They have a lot of holes on their team. They lose some players that were good for them last year. And for my AAC title game, I have UCF over Cincinnati. Now I'll move on to the ACC. In first place, no doubt about it, the Clemson Tigers. I have them going 10-1 on the season, 9-1 in conference play. The one loss, you'll find out later. Trevor Lawrence is back. This is his last season, obviously. They should be the favorites to win the ACC and to win the national title. Travis Etienne back as well. New offensive coordinator. No Justin Ross due to a neck injury. That's a big blow. Their defense should be strong. In second place, I have the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They are in this division now, or this conference now. Ian Book is back. They have a lot of other guys coming back that I like as well. I think they're going to be motivated to be playing in a conference. And I think that if things break right, they have a shot to make the college football playoff for the second time in 3 seasons. In third place, I have the North Carolina Tar Heels. I have them going 8-3 in the year, 7-3 in conference play. Oh, by the way, Notre Dame, if I didn't say it, 9-2, I have them going, but 8-2 in conference play. So North Carolina, 8-3, 7-3 in conference play. Mac Brown, second year back. His first year back, I thought was a success. They went 7-6. Surprised a lot of people. I expect them to be even better this year. I think they're the breakthrough team of the conference going into next year. They have a very promising young quarterback that many people like. They have some other starters coming back as well. So Sam Howell, obviously, is who I was referring to. Michael Carter back as well. So I think Carolina's in for a good season. Fourth place, I have Virginia Tech. It looks like that they're only playing conference games this season. I have them going 7-3. They have a ton coming back. I think they have a shot to finish in the top 3 in this division, maybe even the top 2. 2 transfer running backs coming in. 10 starters back on defense. So I think Virginia Tech is in for a good year. Fifth place, I have a surprise team, the Syracuse Orange. A team that did not have a good season last year. Going 5-7. I have them bouncing back, going 7-4 on the year, 6-4 in conference play. They have 2 coordinators that are new, 9 starters back. I think Tommy DeVito could have a breakout year at the quarterback position. Tristan Jackson at wide receiver was a big loss. So I think that Syracuse could be in for a surprisingly decent year. Sixth place, I have going same record as Syracuse, 7-4 and 6-4, Boston College. This is another team I think has a favorable schedule and could benefit from it, like Syracuse. No A.J. Dillon, that's a big loss. Jeff Hafley's the new coach. They are going to have a quarterback battle. The Notre Dame transfer, Phil Jurkovec, I think could win this job and really have an impact. David Bailey, running back, that could have a breakout year. So they have a lot of guys coming back and a lot of guys coming in, and that's why I have them finishing so well. Seventh place, I have the Miami Hurricanes, 7-4, 6-4. I think the Canes could be better than this. Maybe they're worse than this. I think they sort of bounce back from their debacle in Manny Diaz's coaching debut. Derek King's in now. Some other guys they have coming in. I like their schedule a lot as well, so I think Miami could be in for a good year. Eighth, I have Louisville. I have them going 6-5 and in 5-5 in conference play. Miami, by the way, I have going 7-4 and 6-4. So Louisville 6-5, 5-5. I'm not as high on Louisville as most. They went 8-5 last year, second in division. Their defense, I believe, could be better. 7 starters back on that side of the ball. The quarterback, the running back, and the receiver are back, but there's guys that they have to replace, and I don't like their schedule. Ninth, I have Florida State, 6-5 and 5-5. This is a program that, since Jimbo Fisher left, has been bad. They, to me, have to prove to be an elite program again. They have a lot of starters gone. They have some guys coming back, though. They are a good recruiting team. I do think Mike Norvell is going to do a good job here. But I think it'll take some time here. And no Cam Akers is a big loss for Florida State. Pitt I have in 10th. I have them going 5-6 with 4-6 in the conference. Pitt made their ACC title game last year. I think they take a step back. Their schedule is not that favorable. Kenny Pickett back at quarterback. Their running game isn't great. 8 defensive starters back, so that's good for them. 11th, I have NC State. I have them going 6-5. But 5-5 in conference play. Wait, I have to flip Pitt and NC State. I have NC State 10, Pitt 11, so that's my mistake. NC State is a team that I think could be better than I'm projecting here. They're poised for a bounce back after their disappointing 4-8 last year. Devin Leary is supposed to be their starting quarterback. They have some promise along their offense as well. Tony Gibson's their defensive coordinator now. The ex-West Virginia D coordinator. So, yeah, I think that they could get to 6 wins this season. 12th, I have Virginia, 4-6, 3-7. Wait a minute, that's not right. I guess they're not playing any conference games. Yeah, my mistake. 4-6 overall. Their conference games aren't happening due to COVID-19, unfortunately. Virginia is a team that I really don't have high hopes for this season. They won the Coastal a year ago. They have some guys that I think have pressure on them to make jumps. They have some big key losses like quarterback Bryce Perkins on offense and cornerback Bryce Hall on defense. In 13th, I have Georgia Tech. I have them going 3-8, but 2-8 in conference play. Jeff Collins in year 2 at Tech. Not favorable schedule. Amarian Brown's a guy that I think is emerging into a star. They have questions at quarterback. 14th, I have Duke. I have them going 2-9, 1-9 in conference. Their schedule is not favorable at all. They have a lot of questions and a lot of guys leaving. Chase Bryce comes in to be their starting quarterback, the ex-Clemson quarterback that had that come-from-behind win against Syracuse a few years ago. And last, I have Wake Forest. I have them going 2-9 and then 1-9 in the conference. The loss of Jamie Newman is big, even though he opted out for the season. They do have some promising players, but they have a schedule that I don't think is favorable, and it's just unfortunate. Maybe they're better than I expect. We shall see. And for my ACC title game, I have Clemson over Notre Dame. The Big 12. I think the Big 12 is one of the more interesting leagues this year, and my pick to win this conference is a surprise. The Iowa State Cyclones. I think they have a legit shot. They have a ton of talent coming back, a favorable schedule. Brock Purdy, I think, can win the Heisman. I think he's that good. They have players back on both sides of the ball. A great coach in Matt Campbell. I think that they're poised for a big bounce back season after a disappointing year last year. I have them going 9-1 in the conference, 8-1 in conference play. Second place, I have the Oklahoma Sooners. I have them going 8-2, 7-2 in conference play. They have a new quarterback. They lose CeeDee Lamb. Spencer Rattler's the new quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be as good as Jalen Hurts was last year, or even Kyler Murray was the year before, and obviously Baker 3 years ago. But they have a tough schedule. I think they take a step back. And I have questions on their defense as well. Third place, I have the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I have them going 7-3, 6-3 in conference play. I think that they can win the conference. They have a favorable schedule. West Virginia's transfer Josh Sills is bolstering that offensive line. Their defense isn't good. Spencer Sanders, I think, is a candidate to have a breakout sophomore season. Chuba Hubbard's back as well. Fourth, I have Texas. I have them going 7-3 and 6-3 in the conference. Tom Herman's on the hot seat. There's no other way to say it. This is an important year for them. I think that they have to go 7-3 or better for him to keep his job. Maybe even better than 7-3, because this program prioritizes championships, not mediocrity. Sam Ehlinger, back again. Brennan Eagles is somebody I think is poised for a breakout year. The Longhorns should be better than last year on the fence. In fifth place, I have going 7-3 and 6-3 in conference. The TCU Horned Frogs, I think they're in for a good year this year. A good bounce back season as well. They didn't make a bowl, surprisingly. Max Duggan, I think, could have a breakthrough season at the quarterback position. They have some new hires on offense I think could help them as well. No Jalen Reagor, obviously a big deal, and they lose some guys on defense as well, but I think they're in for a bounce-back season as a program. In sixth place, I have the Baylor Bears going 6-4 on the year, 5-4 in conference play. I think that they're the biggest disappointment in the conference this season. They lose a lot of guys, Denzel Mims and some starters on defense. Charlie Brewer back, but no Matt Rule. That's a big loss, obviously, as well. Dave Aranda's in. He was the defensive coordinator at LSU under Coach O at LSU. But yeah, I think this team is bound for some regression. Seventh, the West Virginia Mountaineers. I have them going 4-6, 3-6 in conference play. They went 5-7 a year ago after a slow start to the season. I don't think that they're going to be in a bowl game, but maybe if they pick off some teams that are better than them. They lose a lot of guys. Jarrett Dodge should be their quarterback going into the season. He was really good for them at the end of last year, picking off some teams late like TCU and Kansas State. Their defense, I think, is their strength, but their secondary needs guys to step up after some losses here. In eighth, I have Kansas State. I have them going 3-7, 2-7 in the conference. I don't like their schedule at all. Skylar Thompson, I like their quarterback. I think they regress after a good year last year. Their offensive line's gone. I think that's a concern. Ninth, I have Texas Tech. 3-7 and 2-7 in the conference. Matt Wells, I think, will eventually be a good coach here. There were some injuries that cost them at the end of the year. They lost a lot of close games last year. They have some guys coming back, but they have a tough schedule. And in the basement, none other than the Kansas Jayhawks. I have them going 1-9 on the year, 0-9 in conference play. They went 3-9 last year in Miles' debut, in Wes Miles' Kansas debut, I should say. I think eventually this program will be good, but not yet. They have a long way to go, and they have some recruiting to do and all that. Although they have some good players coming back, Puka Williams and then two receivers that I like, but their quarterback is still a question for me. And for the Big 12 title game, I have Iowa State over Oklahoma. Now we move on to Conference USA. Still do two divisions. In the East Division, I have Marshall winning it. They have some players coming back. I like Doc Holliday. Brendan Knox is back, so that should certainly help him. In second place, I have Florida Atlantic. By the way, Marshall, I'm going 6-4, but 5-2 in conference play. FAU 7-2 and 5-2. FAU, I think, should be good in the conference. Nick Tronte is their starting quarterback. They have a new coach in Willie Taggart after Lane Kiffin went to Ole Miss. But their defense, I don't think, is going to be very good. Third, I have Western Kentucky. I'm going 6-5 and 4-3. A lot of people like them to win this division. I'm not one of them. There's guys that I think that they'll miss, and they have a good defense, though. I like that, but we'll see. Fourth, I have FIU. I have them going 6-4 and 4-3 in conference. I like Butch Davis, and I like what he's building there. But I just think it's going to be tough for him and that team to pick off some of the better teams in their conference. I have them going 6-4 and 4-3 in conference. James Morgan is a big loss, by the way, at the quarterback position. Fifth, I have Middle Tennessee. I have them going 4-6 and 3-4. They went 4-8 a year ago. I think some of their transfers coming in will help. I just don't love their defense, although that they have a good safety coming back, Reed Blankenship. And in the cellar, I have Charlotte, who had a good year last year. I have them going 4-7 this year and 3-4 in conference play. This is a program I think is on the up. I just think that they have a tough schedule. Benny LeMay is a big loss on offense. Chris Reynolds is a good quarterback. I think this is going to be a good team down the road, but just not this year, although I think they'll show some life. In the West Division, no doubt about it, I have UAB winning it. This is their third straight division title, probably. Bill Clark, I think, is a great coach. They're heavy favorites to win the division. Bill Clark, by the way, should be coaching elsewhere. I think he eventually will. They have good linebackers. Their offense should be good. So, I think that they're in for a big year. In second place, I have North Texas. I have them going 7-4. Overall, 6-2 in conference play. Some teams have 8 conference games and others have 7. It's because Old Dominion dropped out. But yeah, North Texas, I think, will be a pleasant surprise this year. Bounce back team. They went 4-8 last year. They have quarterback questions, but they have skill around them. I think their defense could be better with a new D coordinator in town as well. Third, I have Southern Miss. I have them going 8-4 in the year, 5-3 in conference play. I think that they're finally going to crack, or they'll come close to cracking more than 8 in the regular season. Jay Hobson's a good coach. 15 starters back's a big deal for them as well. Fourth, I have Louisiana Tech. I have them going 7-4, but 5-3 in conference play. Skip Holtz is a great coach. They've been consistent. Aaron Allen's their new quarterback. He should be solid. Their defense, I think, will be better as well, although Amik Robertson's gone, the talented corner. Fifth, I have Rice. I have them going 2-8 in conference, or 2-8 in general, but 2-6 in conference play. Rice is horrible. They had a 3-game winning streak last year, but I think their schedule is very hard. Juma Antavino is back and healthy at the running back position. They have some starters back on defense as well, which I think should help them. Third place, I have the UTSA Roadrunners. I have them going 3-8, 1-6 in conference play. Jeff Traylor's in as their new coach. They have some promise in on their coaching staff, and on both sides of the ball. Running back Sincere McCormick, I think, is going to have a good year for them. And in the Cellar of UTEP, I have them going 2-10 and 0-8 in conference play. Dana Diemel, 2 wins in 2 years at UTEP. 7 starters back. Maybe they get another win. Maybe they actually win some games in conference play. We shall see. And I have UAB over FAU. UAB over Marshall in the Conference USA title game this year. Independents, I think Army's going to have a bounce back year. I think they'll go 8-4 on the season. I think they're just poised for a bounce back after a bad year last year. Some starters back, I think, should help. I have BYU going 5-3. It's just unfortunate that a lot of their games got canceled due to COVID-19. But they have some pieces coming back as well. And Liberty, I have going 5-5. Favorable schedule. Hugh Freeze is a good coach. The SEC. We'll start with the East. I have winning the Eastern Division. I have the Georgia Bulldogs going 9-1 on the year. They're going conference only. Jamie Newman's a big loss, but they have the ex-USC quarterback JT Daniels in now. He showed a lot of promise at USC. They have a lot of talent around them. They lose Andrew Thomas. That's a big loss. But I think the Bulldogs are in for a good season. Second place, I have the Florida Gators. I have them going 7-3. Everyone and their brother loves Florida in the East Division this year, but I'm sorry. They have to prove it to me. They have a good coach in Dan Mullen, obviously. Kyle Trask is back. That's a big deal. Some of their offensive players are around them are back. Their defense is very good. I might come to regret not picking Florida, but I just think their schedule is pretty tough. And I think that they could lose some trap games along the way as well. Third place, I have Tennessee. I have them going 5-5. I think they're going to be one of the more disappointing teams in the country this year. I believe that they are ranked 25th in the AP poll coming into the year. Jeremy Pruitt does have the team going in the right direction, but they have such a hard schedule. Jarek Garantono has shown promise at the quarterback position. In fourth, I have Kentucky. I have them going 4-6. I think they take a step back this year. I don't love their schedule. They have some big losses on both sides of the ball. Boogie Watson's their best defensive player coming back. Terry Wilson is coming back off an injury. We'll see how he looks. In fifth place, I have South Carolina at 3-7. I think Will Muschamp's a coach on the hot seat. Mike Bobo is their new offensive coordinator. Ryan Helinski's back at quarterback. Their defense, I think, will be better even though they lose Javon Kinlaw. Sixth, I have Missouri. I have them going 3-7. Eli Drinkwitz is the new coach. He's coming over from Appalachian State. They have questions at quarterback, Sean Robinson or Connor Bazelak. Who do they pick? Both of those guys have some upside. Their running back tandem's not bad. Their defense is not very good, although I like linebacker Nick Bolton. And in the cellar, I have Vanderbilt. I have them going 2-8. Derek Mason, I think, is on the hot seat. I think I've been saying that the last 4 years. They have a good coordinator in Todd Flitch. Kashawn Vaughn, Jared Pinkley, and Kaija Lipscomb are all gone, which is not great. But their defense, I think, will be better. 11 starters back. And to the West Division, in first place, 10-0, the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think that the Tide are in for a bounce back year after going 10-2 last year. Will really 11-2 because they won the Sugar Bowl, but nobody remembers that. That was their first time out of the playoff. Mac Jones played well last year after taking over for Tua Tagovailoa. They have a lot of talent coming back. Devontae Smith back and Jalen Waddle back. They have some good players on defense coming back, including Dylan Moses. That's a huge deal. Patrick Surtain is a guy that I like on defense as well. In second place, going 8-2, I have the Auburn Tigers. I think Bo Nix could be this year's Joe Burrow. He showed a lot of promise last year, and I think he can come in and win the Heisman this year. Chad Morris is the offensive coordinator. I think he'll help him. Gus Malzahn, I think, is under some pressure this year. Seth Williams is back at receiver. Their defense is not horrible, although they have a lot to replace. Obviously, Derek Brown being among the notable names. In third, going 6-4, of the Texas A&M Aggies. I think the Aggies could be better than this. I just don't like their schedule at all. They have some key losses. Kellen Mond back. I think he'll be better. Jimbo Fisher's due for a big season, but I think they're close, but not quite there yet. In fourth, going 6-4, the LSU Tigers. So I have the reigning champs taking a huge step back. No Joe Burrow. No Jamar Chase. He opted out. No Clyde Edwards-Helaire. No Joe Brady. Ed Orgeron's still there. Miles Brennan has so much pressure on him. He's just not Joe Burrow. I'm sorry. Derek Stingley's back on defense. That's going to help him. I think their defense will be good, but I think their offense is kind of going to revert to what it was before Joe Burrow showed up in Baton Rouge. Fifth, Mississippi State, 4-6. I think that Mississippi State could be in for a promising year. KJ Costello at quarterback. Mike Leach is the new coach. They have a favorable schedule. I think that Errol Thompson's a good defensive player. He'll thrive. In sixth place, going 2-8, I have the Arkansas Razorbacks. Sam Pittman's the new coach. He had a good national signing day, signing some good players. There's some guys he has coming back as well, so I think this is a program that could be good sooner rather than later. And then in the bottom, I have Ole Miss. Poor Lane Kiffin. Such a hard schedule. Intriguing quarterback options, Matt Corral and John Reese Plumlee. And my SEC title game, I have Alabama over Florida. Or I'm sorry, Georgia. I almost went Georgia over Alabama, but I think the loss of Jamie Newman will hurt them there. The Sun Belt, last but not least. We'll start the East Division. I have App State winning it 10-1, 7-1 in conference play. New coach yet again, Sean Clark. Zach Thomas is back. Receivers are back. Offensive line's good. Second place, going 8-4, 6-2. Georgia Southern. The gap between the two teams, I think, is bigger than given credit for. Shai Wertz, I think, is a solid quarterback. Their running backs are pretty good as well. Their defense, I don't think, is that great, though. In third place, I'm going 7-5, 5-3. Troy, the Trojans. Chip Lindsey, year 2. Questions at quarterback. After Caleb Barker is gone, I think that the rest of their offense is solid. Their defense, I don't think, is very good whatsoever. Fourth place, I have Georgia State 3-7. I have them going in at 3-5 in the conference. I think that the Panthers are a feast or famine program. They're good and they're not good. And this, I think, is going to be like a mediocre-ish, not good kind of season. Cornelius Brown and Kirsten Harvey are going to be guys that are competing for the quarterback position job. They have some guys back on defense, which is good. Fifth, I have Coastal Carolina. I have them going 3-8 and then 1-7 in the conference. Coastal Carolina is not that good. They're going to take a step back after going 5-7 last year. They have a question at quarterback. Their running back's back, C.J. Marble. He's good, but their defense, to me, can't stop anybody. West Division. First, I have Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. I have them going 8-3, 7-1 in the conference. They had their best season in school history last year. They won 11 games, and they won a bowl game as well. Their offense is going to be great. Levi Lewis, a good running back duo as well, good receiver. I think they can actually steal this conference from Appalachian State. Second place, I have Arkansas State. I have them going 8-4, then 6-2 in the conference. I think they're going to have another good season. Their defense is not very good. That's where their questions lie. They have a question at the quarterback in terms of who they pick. They have some other guys to replace on offense as well, but I think that the upside of the quarterback position will propel them. Third place, I have UL Monroe. I have them going 3-9 and 2-6 in conference play. I think they take a step back after going 5-7 last year. They lose their quarterback, Caleb Evans. Colby Suits is the guy that they're looking at to replace him. Josh Jackson back. Their defense stinks. Fourth, South Alabama. I have them going 2-9 and 2-6 in the conference. South Alabama, they're banking on a breakthrough year in Steve Campbell's third season. They have some guys that I like. 4 starters back up front on defense. They have some receivers coming back as well. But in the back end of their defense, I think there are some questions. And in fifth place, I have Texas State. I have them going 1-11 and 1-7 in conference play. This is one of the worst teams in the country. Jake Spadaval in year 2. They have some guys back on offense, but they're banking on a quarterback improvement. And their defense is literally non-existent. In terms of a Sun Belt title game, I have Appalachian State over Louisiana. College football playoff. My 1 seed, I have the Clemson Tigers. 2 seed, the Iowa State Cyclones. 3 seed, the Alabama Crimson Tide. 4 seed, the Georgia Bulldogs. And for the first time ever, I think we'll have a 2-loss team in the college football playoffs, unless the Big Ten decides to come back and do like a 10-game season and Ohio State's back in the picture. So Clemson versus Georgia, I have as my 1-4. Ultimately, the loss of Jamie Newman will be missed, although I think JT Daniels is solid, but I don't think he can match Trevor Lawrence, who I think will have a chip on his shoulder. So give me Clemson to move on. Now Iowa State, Alabama. So you have Brock Purdy against Mac Jones. But ultimately, Nick Saban in the college football playoff is tough to bet against. And a promising season for Iowa State will come to an end. So give me Alabama as a 3 seed to go on to the title game. So national title game for the, oh my goodness, this would be 4 times in, I want to say 6 years, with the other games being Georgia, Bama, and LSU, Clemson. Yeah. For the 4th time in 6 years, Alabama, Clemson in the national title game. And for the 5th time in 6 years in the college football playoff. Because don't forget, these two teams faced off in the first round a couple years ago as well. Before Trevor Lawrence showed up to Clemson, it was Kelly Bryant against Jalen Hurts. So you got Mac Jones, you got Trevor Lawrence, talent galore. But ultimately, like I said, I think Trevor Lawrence has a big chip on his shoulder. I think Clemson's better on both sides of the ball. Travis Etienne, I think, is the best skill player, meaning non-quarterback skill player on the field here. So give me the Clemson Tigers to win their 3rd national championship in a 5-year span. So the Clemson Tigers are my pick. And my Heisman Trophy winner, I'm going to pick Trevor Lawrence. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. He wanted to come back and play. Wants to prove to everyone he's the best quarterback in this draft class. He's heard the talk about Trey Lance over at North Dakota State. He's heard the Justin Fields talk over at Ohio State. And Fields isn't even going to be playing a snap this season. So this is a big opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to go out and prove that that national title game against LSU is just a blip and that he's the best quarterback prospect coming into the 2021 NFL Draft. And my runner-up, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy from Iowa State. I think he's in for a big season this year. And in 3rd place, I'm going to pick... My 3rd place pick for the Heisman Trophy. I'm going to go with Ian Book of Notre Dame. I think that Notre Dame will be ranked. I think that they are happy to be in the ACC, so I think that Ian Book will be your 3rd place winner. Bold predictions for every conference. The AAC, I'm going to say that the Cincinnati Bearcats will lose their head coach, Luke Fickell, as he will land a job that will be open. Maybe Vanderbilt opens, he bounces there. Maybe somebody else opens and he bounces. But yeah, I think Luke Fickell bounces from Cincinnati this year. ACC bold prediction. Notre Dame upsets Clemson. I've hinted at it this entire show, but I had to wait for this segment to say it. Notre Dame upsets Clemson. And I think it'll be an awesome game. Maybe there will be fans in the stands. And if there are, then they're going to be running onto the field. And then there's going to be people on social media criticizing because of social distancing protocols and all that jazz. The Big Ten is not playing right now, and my prediction for them is that they, despite rumors that they're going to come back this year, they won't. The Big 12. My prediction for the Big 12 is that the Iowa State Cyclones make the playoff. You heard it earlier. I think that Iowa State's the surprise team. They're going to be the most surprising team that makes the college football playoff probably since LSU last year. But obviously, LSU had Joe Burrow and a bunch of pieces. But Iowa State has a lot of talent too. They have a great coach in Matt Campbell. So I'm going to say that they're pretty much this year's LSU, except I think they lose in the college football playoff to Alabama. Conference USA. I think that this is the year Bill Clark finally bounces. He really has rebuilt that UAB program up really well. I think he finally bumps from that school to go to a job that's open. Independents. I am going to say for the Independents that BYU will end up scheduling more games against teams that need games. I think BYU was upset that a lot of their games got canceled. I think that they were hoping that the Mountain West would play so they could stick to them because they wanted Notre Dame's model. So I think that BYU will add more games to their schedule. The MAC, the MWC, and the Pac-12 all will not come back. SEC. I am going to say that due to their disappointing season, their pending disappointing season, that the Tennessee Volunteers, there'll be rumors that they will move on from Jeremy Pruitt and he will be hot seat talk. And he'll be the coach on the hottest seat going into 2021. And Sunbelt, my prediction is that Appalachian State, there's going to be talks about them potentially being in the college football playoff, and they'll finish the season in the top, let's say, 15 of the rankings. And I think that their loss will come back to bite them. So there are my predictions for every conference, and that's it for the college football predictions show. I'll be back with my normal podcast in about an hour from now, so stay tuned for that.